guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Sammy and I just finished my Disney World trip. We went to Disney World for 4 nights and 4 days, and we stayed at the Old Key West Resort for the first time. So I've gotten quite a few questions on my Instagram, on my YouTube, on my TikTok about our experience at Old Key West. So I figured I would do a full, in-depth, brutally honest review, because nobody's paying me, on our stay at Old Key West. Also, if you haven't seen the vlog series, it is on my channel. I would really appreciate if you checked it out if you're interested. It was my first time ever vlogging at Disney World, and honestly, I have had so much fun looking back on the vlogs, editing them, and uploading them for people to see. At first, I kind of made the vlogs to step out of my comfort zone, but I didn't realize how much fun I would have editing them and like rewatching our trip. It seriously has been so like rewarding and magical to actually be able to look back on a trip. If you want to check those out, they are on my channel. But without further ado, let's get started on the review. So I figured I would break this review down into 4 parts. An overview of the resort itself, a room review, a transportation review, a dining review, and an amenities review. And then we'll kind of just touch base on our own personal experience throughout, and I'll sprinkle that out. So if you didn't know, Old Key West is a deluxe villa resort. So it does fall in the deluxe category, meaning you get deluxe benefits, including early park entry or extra extended magic hours for deluxe resort guests. We actually didn't get to experience the magic hours. At the time we went, we were not yet annual pass holders, so we only had a 3-day park hopper ticket. Didn't have the ticket for our first day, our travel day. But we actually went over to Typhoon Lagoon. So even though we didn't get to experience the deluxe magic hours, we still utilized the extended hours in the morning, every single morning, because we rope dropped every single day. It is a DVC resort. It's actually the first ever DVC resort, but anybody can stay there. You don't need to be a DVC member. If you don't know what DVC is, it stands for Disney Vacation Club. It's essentially their timeshare program. You can buy into it, or you can do what we did, which is rent points from third-party websites like David's DVC, DVC Rentals. There's a bunch of them. We went through David. So the way that works is if you go to davidsdvc.com and you check availability, you can put your dates in that you're interested in, and a live agent can tell you if the dates are available for any of the Walt Disney World resorts. I had wanted to stay at Old Key West for quite some time, so this was actually a top pick for me, but there are multiple DVC resorts that you can get through David's. Riviera, Grand Floridian, Beach Club, Boardwalk, Polynesian, Old Key West, Saratoga, Animal Kingdom Lodge, and Wilderness Lodge. Those are all DVC resorts, and I probably forgot one. So there's normally a lot of options, but obviously it's dependent on when you're going. We were going in August, so there were a lot of options because August tends to be a slower month at Disney, which is why we went. Also tends to be a hotter month, which is not why we went. So the resort itself is designed to be like Old Key West, Florida, but it's really chill. Like, that's how people would describe it, or how I would describe it. It's more of a laid back resort. It's not all together. It's huge. It's super spread out. There are 5 bus stops across the resort. They have an internal bus system, multiple pools, multiple buildings. It almost looks like an apartment complex when you get to your building. Like, the buildings are apartment style looking complexes, kind of like Caribbean Beach Resort, like how they have the different buildings. It's like that at Old Key West, and these ones don't really have any special naming to them. They're just numbered, but the streets have their own names. We were on Old Turtle Pond Road, which is the second street down from Hospitality House. So it was an 11-minute walk from our building to the Hospitality House. So if you go during August, be prepared to walk because we were sweating. I also did request that we are either on Peninsula Road or close to Hospitality House as my 2 requests, and obviously I didn't get either of those, which is fine. I didn't expect to get them, especially because I rented through David's. I assumed that I would probably be given like a limited amount of rooms that they could put me in, but just be prepared that if you go to this resort, you're probably gonna have to walk. So let's start with an overview of the rooms. These are the biggest rooms on Disney property, studio wise. They have the biggest square footage per any Disney property, and they are awesome. Yeah, we loved our room. From the second we got into it, it was really, the air conditioning was so good. Like, I was freezing in the room to the point where I actually was excited to step out of the room because it was so hot, and it would heat me back up because I was so cold. We had so much space. Because we rented through David's, we got a mini fridge, we got a microwave. Regardless, we loved our room. We thought it was perfect, and yeah, just all the space is so awesome. I have a full room tour on my travel day vlog if you're interested, and I go way more in depth. But our room also had a balcony, it had a table in the room, a table outside of the room, just as much space as we could need. The shower also super spacious. The room was great. Yeah, we loved the room. I will say it was a little bit dark in it. Like, I think just because the only window you have is that door in the corner, and we had like a little window in the bathroom, but like it was a little bit dark, and we definitely didn't have like a newly renovated room, I don't think. I think the whole resort was renovated somewhat recently, but one thing that kind of like annoyed me was you didn't have any outlets on the nightstand, so we had to like go behind the nightstand to access the outlet, and it was like really finicky, and like bugs fell out of it really easily, and the TV was tiny. So if you go to Disney, like, we don't go to Disney to watch TV. I think we only ever had it on for the title screen to play the music. But if you go to Disney and you like to have like movie nights or something like that, that's definitely something to consider. I have poor eyesight. At a distance, I have to wear my glasses, and I don't even know if I still would have been able to see it from where we were in the bed to where the TV was. But it did swivel out of the wall, which was nice. So overall, I would give the rooms a solid ranking. I think, again, for a deluxe resort and at a deluxe price point, if I hadn't rented DVC points and if I had paid full price for this room, I probably would have been a little bit disappointed with the like outlets, and just like wasn't super renovated. But honestly, I thought it was fine. Like, I'm just not a super harsh critic when it comes to a hotel room. I'm never expecting anything crazy, and for the size of the room, I was so pleasantly surprised. I thought it was just a really great option. I think on average these rooms are around $400 to $500 a night, and we paid $270 a night with the deal we got on David. So that's another great plus. I mean, for our December trip that we're going on, the Pop Century rooms were $270 a night. So we paid a value price for a deluxe resort. Again, we went in August, so that's probably kind of a more rare deal. I think on average, if you're renting DVC, it'd probably be about $300 something a night. But yeah, we were very pleased with the price that we got. So next I'm gonna go in on the dining. We actually only used the dining at the resort once, just because we had reservations elsewhere and we were only there for a short amount of time. But they are home to Olivia's, which I have heard is the best brunch on property. I cannot speak for Olivia's because we did not eat there, but it was very beautiful, and there were always people in there that seemed to be enjoying their food. There's also the main pool bar at Hospitality House, which is the Gurgling Suitcase, which people love. That had a lot of fun drink options and some light snacks. And then there's also Goods Food to Go, which is where we went one morning and got coffee from, and it was actually really good coffee. It took like 10 minutes to get a small latte, which was a little frustrating because we had to go to the park, but other than that, it was fine. I mean, there's also a bunch of little pool bars sprinkled in at the resort. So we were on Turtle Pond Road. We had our own pool and own pool bar, and that comes with your basic everyday snacks. Just know that there are options. However, note that the options are far away. The resort, again, is huge. If I'm staying at Old Turtle Pond Road and I want to go to Goods Food to Go, that's an 11-minute walk, right? So jumping into transportation, that's a good segue. There is an internal bus system, or there's a bus system, right? There's 5 bus stops, and it stops at Hospitality House last, no matter what park you're going to. So if I'm at my room, I want to go order something from Olivia's Cafe to Go, or Gurgling Suitcase, or Goods Food to Go. I can order it on my phone. I can hop on any one of the park buses, and they're constantly coming and going. We never had to wait more than 5 minutes for a bus for the park that we were going to. So there's a million buses. That's one thing that they do right at Old Key West. You never are there waiting for a bus for long. And you could get on the bus at your bus stop and then get off at Hospitality House. We did this once to get to the main pool. We saw other people doing this. It works fine. Yeah, it is a pain, right? It is a pain. It's not like the boardwalk where you can just literally walk 5 minutes and you're on the boardwalk, or, anywhere else. It's a big resort, so you have to be prepared to walk. This is something that I thought wouldn't bother me, and it did bother me. And I'm somebody that doesn't mind a walk. But when you're tired and you're exhausted and you just want a cheeseburger, you don't want to walk 11 minutes. And sometimes you don't even want to get on a bus to go get it. Like, you just want it there for you. So yeah, that was not the best situation. And so be prepared to walk. However, the transportation itself is great. Again, like, we never had to wait long for a bus. At every single park, our bus stop was near the front of the park except for Epcot. So every other park, we were like 1 or 2 bus stops back, which was really awesome in terms of getting on our bus when we're at the park. Except for Epcot, we were the last one, but who cares? Like, you're not always going to be the first bus. It's like, it's not what you're paying for. All the bus drivers were awesome, and yeah, we just found that that was really, really good. Like, even leaving the park, we never were waiting for a bus for more than like 5 minutes. Like, they're just consistent. Probably the best buses I've had on Disney property in terms of pickup time. That being said, when you're going to the park at Old Key West, plan that you have 5 bus stops. So we were Old Turtle Pond Road. We were the second bus stop. We stopped at 3 more stops before then leaving for the park. And if you're at Peninsula Road, you get on first, but then you stop at 4 more stops. If you're at Hospitality House, you're kind of in the best situation. I would argue it's definitely worth paying for a preferred room at Old Key West in terms of transportation and in terms of where you are, because being able to walk to Hospitality House in 5 minutes would be so, like, it probably would change my entire outtake on the resort. I think the next time I go, I would do that. And if you are renting DVC points, they do have that option when you're renting DVC points. You can choose a preferred room near Hospitality House to guarantee you that vicinity. There's 2 streets right behind Hospitality House. My guess is that it's one of those buildings. Last form of transportation is boats. So they do have a boat to Disney Springs. This was my favorite. I love boat transportation. We went on our travel day to Disney Springs, and taking the boat back during golden hour, it was like the most beautiful thing ever. It was so relaxing. Only con is that when you take the boat, it brings you back to Hospitality House. There is no bus that you can hop on to get to your stop because Hospitality House is the last stop. So you have to walk back from Hospitality House. We actually really lucked out, and one of the luggage guys took us on his bus, but that is a rare occurrence. Like, that doesn't normally happen. So the boat transportation is awesome to Disney Springs, and again, we didn't wait long for it. The only thing I did notice was, like, we didn't see a lot of signs leading us to the boat when we were leaving Disney Springs. Just, like, be prepared, know where the boats get you. Going on to the pools and the amenities, they had a lot of awesome fun activities for kids listed there, like different things you could do each night, different events. We obviously didn't do any. We were at the parks all night, but that is a great option if you have kids. In terms of the pool, again, we went in August, so we needed pool time because it was so hot. Then we realized we didn't want pool time because the pools were so hot. They were just baking under the sun all day. The pools were probably like 85 degrees each. Like, it was just kind of brutal. It was like getting in a hot bath with a bunch of people, and it really wasn't refreshing, which it's kind of hard when you're in Florida when you have a pool because it's heating from the sun. We had a pool growing up, and like, that's just how it works. Like, there's not really much you can do about that. When it's so hot out, the pool's gonna be hot. I did find the slide and stuff to be fun at the main pool, but it was really crowded. And the only other thing that kind of stinks about the main pool at Old Key West is that there is not a lot of shaded spots unless you get there really early and reserve a pool umbrella. Like, you will not be in the shade, and if you're there on a really hot month or week or day, that can be kind of brutal. You're just baking under the sun. It did have some area like where you could step in the sand, and some of the pool was sandy, but I don't know if that's just because there were chairs in the sand or if it was meant to be like that. And we also spent some time at our quiet pool, which I preferred the quiet pool. I just thought it was like nicer and a little cooler than the main pool in terms of temperature. There was definitely more shaded spots though at our quiet pool. And having the pool bar there was also like really convenient for a quiet pool. And I don't think all of the quiet pools had pool bars. I think we kind of got lucky. That was really awesome that we could just go up and get a beer or whatever we wanted at the quiet pool while enjoying a nice swim. If you wanted to go and spend lunch at the pool, you totally could. Our quiet pool also had like full tables you could sit at, which was really nice. Playground, and there was a playground at the main pool as well, and some cornhole and stuff like that we saw people enjoying. So there's definitely a lot of activities in terms of if you're spending the day at a resort or at the resort. In a nutshell, I would stay at Old Key West again. I really would. I think maybe I would ask during check-in, like, oh, do you have any near Peninsula Road or something? Like, maybe I would go the extra mile. But on this trip, like, our brother was staying there too, and he wasn't in our room, so I just didn't want to push for it. We had a room right next to him. They were really accommodating there. All of the cast members were incredible, and our experience there was really good. Yeah, be prepared to walk. Like, it definitely is a walking resort. If you have any specific questions, let me know. Yeah, I would totally stay there again. Definitely look out for it on David's or any other DVC rental sites, because I have found that Old Key West does have the best deals, and definitely utilize those deluxe benefits that you get from staying there at a value price point. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you guys want to see next, and I hope you have a great day.